Hey everyone, I'm so happy to be with you tonight and talk about loving the emotionally unavailable man. It is almost a feeling of being addicted to an emotionally unavailable man, and sometimes these men can also feel like narcissists, or they can have a lot of the qualities of narcissist. And for some reason, when a man like this comes into your life and sweeps you up off your feet, they really do a number on your brain. And they make you pine for them, long for them. There's something in you that gets triggered that this man is going to be the only man you're ever going to love, you're ever going to be happy with. No other man will ever compare to this man. And if you feel me on this, give me a thumbs up on this video to let me know that I'm on the right track, because when this happened to me, and I speak from experience, I fell very much in love with a man who just came into my life, swept me off at my feet at a very pivotal time in my life, okay? So it happens to you at a very pivotal time where you are either love-starved, you're feeling needy, you're feeling very alone, or you're in this sort of situation where you're in flux with your life and you're in this in-between places. And so this is when you attract this type of man to you. I do believe sometimes these men are wolf in sheep clothing. Sometimes they are a little bit of a predator. And there's a reason that they're attracted to you and drawn to you. So if any of you have ever slummed it and dated a man that was not really what you go for, okay, you can kind of look back on that man and know that, yeah, I was kind of slumming it, but I like this about him. Or, yeah, he was really down on his luck, but he had this sort of quality or something. You can always kind of look back on that and have this reason that you decided to go with this guy who really didn't make a lot of sense. And especially now with me as your coach, I tell you to kind of hang in and date a guy a little bit longer so you can get that trigger, okay? So with an emotionally unavailable man, or even a narcissist, or any other type of personality disorder you want to put on him, when this type of man is attracted to you, they're seeing something in you that allows them, almost like a virus, to creep into your system. And this is going to sound really radical, but if I'm on the right track here, if it feels like almost like a virus has overtaken you, I'm going to talk a little bit about that and addiction, and how these emotionally unavailable men and narcissist men and men that prey on women who are in these places, these certain places in their life. Even if a woman on the outside looks like this powerful dynamite, woman, she may be really tough on the outside, but on the inside, she's at home crying alone in the shower, you see. And that's how I was. On the outside, I was like Fort Knox. I was made of steel on the outside, but on the inside, I could fall apart so easy. So what I teach you how to do is be soft on the outside. Now you may think, if I'm soft on the outside, anybody can hurt me. That's not true, because you'll be soft on the outside and you will be like a mountain on the inside, you see. And that's what I teach you how to do. I teach you how to never again let a man have this sort of control over you and pick you up at your weakest moment and take whatever he wants and then just drop you. That's what I teach you how to avoid forever. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. That is something that I could talk for years about. If you have any of my programs, all of my programs go into this, especially the ABCs to get him back and New Man Manifesto. For those of you who know Helena and I did Dating Unzipped together. They're at my website, everheartcoaching.com. Check them out after this video and see if something speaks to you. So let's just talk a little bit about who an emotionally unavailable man is, what he looks like. And I want you all in the live chat, please, go ahead and tell me a couple of characteristics, like a couple of words that would describe your emotionally unavailable man. How he was in the beginning. How he was by about the third date. It's usually when you get the red flag. How much of himself he really opened up to you. Did he say things like, my longest relationship has been 6 months. That's what my emotionally unavailable man said. He said, oh, so you've got a challenge, Adrienne. My longest relationship has been only 6 months. It just hasn't worked out. I've just met all these bad women. I've just had this string of terrible bad luck. Okay. And if he has had relationships in the past, kind of get curious about how did they end? How did this keep happening to you? So I should have known, because I remember one time I was with my emotionally unavailable man and his family. And his sister said to me, oh, remember you used to date, this girl? And she goes, boy, I don't know what you did to her. I don't know what you did to her. But after you broke up with her, she was calling me crying. She was calling your other sister crying. She called your mom. We don't know what you did to that girl, but woo, that's what he did to her. He did to her what he did to me. So all of you, I'm going to read this. One person said, I'm addicted to a narcissist, even having physical symptoms. Absolutely. I'm going to talk about addiction. Hang with me. I'm going to be with you guys a long time tonight. So if you're looking for a short, fast video, go to a different channel. I'm going to spend quality time with you. Another person said he was arrogant and self-absorbed. Did that happen in the beginning or did that happen later on? I'm curious. Another person said charming in the beginning, but talked a lot about himself. Debbie said he wouldn't let me talk about my feelings. He'd get uncomfortable and change the subject. Ooh. He talked about his past relationships a lot and his feelings. Sometimes they make themselves out to be just this total victim of circumstance. And you're kind of like, well, how'd you get to be, 42 years old and this is still happening to you? Another person said he was the complete definition of a narcissist and he got me for a boatload of money. I hear ya. So did mine. And I hear about it every day. These guys are Casanovas. They will make love to you as if their lives depend on it. And they will take your money. They will take whatever you give them. They'll just take it all day long. And then when they're done with you, they're out the door. Absolutely no remorse. No guilt for them, I don't believe. Okay? So you can tell I'm very passionate about this subject because it happened to me. This is actually why I went into coaching, this whole topic. So another person said, he criticized that you needed to be patient with him. That happens as well. And another person says they pointing out your flaws and, okay, he started showing those behaviors 3 months in. And huge need for validation. And another person says he won't talk to me. He wants me all for himself. They want to keep you in a little cage. That's right. So one person said no energy and then slept for 24 hours after being with him. I hear ya. And another person said he was angry when I cried. He consistently talked about other women, sweet and fun at first, but not emotionally available. He wanted me when he wanted me. You got it. So let me tell you a couple of things about your jumping off place. I call this your jumping off point. If your jumping off point is in this weak place, I was in the process of moving my ex-husband, out of the house. And looking back, he and I could have probably patched things together had I not gotten so brainwashed by this emotionally unavailable man. And I'm going to talk about addiction. I'm going to talk about how this absolutely will feel like addiction. I believe it mimics addiction in your brain. Mind you, I am not a scientist. I'm an English major in gender issues. And, this is not my place where I'm an expert at with your brain, but I have studied addiction a good bit in college. And I've studied how the brain works in a lot of different areas, whether that's addiction to a substance or addiction to food and things like this. So I can talk to you about that more, but your jumping off place, if you're weak, if you're in this weak place, and most of us kind of are, because you're just now finding out about feminine energy. You're just now finding out that all this time I've been so tough on the outside, I haven't been letting anybody into my heart. Most of us have a hard time expressing our feelings or thinking, should I express my feelings? Will we get mad and walk away? A lot of us are scared of men, scared of how they'll react if we tell them how we feel. And all of us have been hurt by men. All of us, one way or another. We have had a man turn his back and walk the other way. And it causes this damage to us, and we're looking for that solution with the other man. Sometimes your wounded inner child is looking for that solution. So I want your jumping off place to be a very solid, strong place of knowing who you are, knowing how to speak your boundaries, knowing what it feels like when a boundary gets stepped on, and having the guts to tell a person how you feel without making them feel this small, without crushing their soul. Because after you have experienced a narcissist and after you've experienced an emotionally unavailable man, a good guy will show up in your life. And you'll go, oh, you're doing this, and you'll cut him down. And then later you're like, oh my God, I was so mean to that guy. I was so mean to him because, you're behaving based on these past experiences. And give me a thumbs up if you've done that. I think we've all kind of gone off on the good guy. So get your jumping off place to a very strong, solid, mature, I know who I am. I am soft on the outside. Ouch, that hurt. But I'm rock solid on the inside. I know how to take care of myself if I hurt myself. You see, I have everything it's required inside of me. Can you see how to balance that? On the outside, you can let the guy know, oh my goodness, I feel so sad about that. On the inside, you don't go home and cry all day. You go, I've been hurt before, and I know how to pick myself back up. I know how to take care of myself and nurture myself. I'm a goddess on a pedestal. If this man doesn't want me, I've got 100 other men behind me. You see, you'll have that strength to you. Now, how do you get this strength? You get this strength by dating lots of men. I know that's not what you want to hear. You don't want to hear, I have to go date guys. I love my guy so much and I miss him so much. Please don't make me date new guys. There's nothing but losers in my town. And you'll have all these excuses why you don't want to date men. It is the key to solving whatever is going on inside of you that is attracting you to emotionally unavailable men, because you are attracted to them. I used to actually be able to almost like a characteristic in a man, something familiar, something about him would speak to me. I believe I may have a nose for even mental illness. I don't know. Maybe I can smell that on them. Maybe there's just some nuanced something. I mean, I do believe I'm an extra sensing person. That's all I'm going to say about it. But I could almost pick them out. Like, these are the men I want to fix. These are the ones I want to help. Instead of going and finding that strong, confident, healthy man with a head on his shoulders, a solid job, a good work ethic, who is really wanting to find a partner to spend the rest of his life with. So we have discussed jumping off point. And we have discussed the qualities that are attracting you to this type of man, some sort of wounded feeling inside of you, and the importance of dating other men, because those other men are going to have triggers. They're going to have problems. They're going to upset you. And you can just go, I'm done, and walk away from them. Or you can go, oh my goodness, I've just been triggered. What is it that the universe is telling me I need to learn right now in this moment? That is the secret, ladies. That's the secret right there, is that the universe or God is putting in front of you whatever the feeling is other than comfort and happiness. It is there to teach you something. So the tools that I teach you and the methods that I teach you are so that you can raise your vibration, you can raise your awareness to a place where you're going to begin attracting more quality men to you. You're also going to feel amazing. You're not going to feel nervous and anxious and worried all the time. You're going to feel very much in control of your life and steady and confident. Hold your head up high, shoulders back. You're going to feel good about yourself. If a man's not into you, you pass. You've got 100 other men behind you. It's a really wonderful, confident feeling when you get here. So that's what my programs teach you how to do. Dating men are the key. Now, most of you, you go about dating. I don't want to say you're doing it the wrong way, but you're probably doing it the wrong way. Like go on a date, didn't like him, didn't feel anything, no chemistry. I don't like that guy. And then you're done with the date. So I teach you to date in a way with curiosity, that you're actually seeing what this man is going to pull out of you. So you can sit across the table for him and you can practice your tools. You can practice leaning back. You can practice really, really get him. You can practice unzipping your heart. You can practice the man magnet tool. There's many of them. Now, if you have any of my programs, if you have ABCs to get him back, if you have New Man Manifesto, if you have Dating Unzipped, you get something called a VIP library. In that VIP library, I have a little document that has all your tools and how to use them. It's so easy to do this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit now about addiction. I'm just going to kind of look over your comments here. Birdie said, thank you for talking about this. You're spot on. Where were you a year ago? I wish I would have known. And that's exactly how I felt too when I really figured all of this out. I put it together. And I was like, my God, I could have totally saved my first marriage. But I want to tell you, my second marriage is amazing. I am with a much better suited for me man. In my last video, I said that my husband now is a mountain of a man. He is a mountain of a man. And this other guy, this emotionally unavailable guy, you know, he's like this little tiny prairie dog hanging around a mountain, you know. And that's what I want you to have. I want you to have just this really amazing, powerful man in your life. Doesn't mean everything's always going to be perfect. That's the nature of life. You're always going to have ups and downs, but you're going to have the tools. You're going to have the tools in your toolbox. You're going to be equipped to deal with whatever comes up. Okay? So let's talk a little bit about addiction. And first, I want to answer this question. I can't resist a good question. How did you choose to marry your husband you have now? Well, we went through 3 very painful breakups. And in that process, I was still working with my coach. Helena was one of my coaches. I had 4 other coaches. I had a total of 5 coaches. I was reading everything. I was learning everything. I was devouring information. I was trying to find the key, the processes of how feminine energy works and how you can actually reattract that person you've lost and get them back into your life and give it one more solid try. I was perfecting it through my poor husband. He was my experiment. It worked. So after a couple of breakups, we were finally back together, and he had me on what I call a relationship diet, which is he wanted to see me every Tuesday and every Friday, I think. and we could spend the night and everything like that. And I just remember feeling like the rest of the week, I was just looking forward to seeing him on Tuesday or Friday. And it sucked. I hated it. So finally, I went to him and I said, I want to be married. I want to be a wife one day. He laughed in my face. He goes, oh, well, I'm never getting married. And I said, okay, I'm going to have to be moving on then. I'll miss you. I'll miss you so much, but I want to be a wife. And I was so scared and my hands were shaking. And I was so heartbroken when he laughed at that and said, oh, I want to be married. And I hugged him goodbye. There was a little something there I could tell that gave me a little glimmer of hope. But I got in my car. I said, bye-bye. I drove away. I'm crying. But the more I made it down his road, I started to feel this lightness. Like, heck yeah, I want to be married. I do want to be a wife. I don't want to be a Tuesday, Friday girlfriend. I want to be married. And if you don't want to do it with me, I'm going to go find somebody who does. And that's what I had in my energy. And so about 3 months later, he showed up at my door asking me to marry him. And that was it. And in that 3 months time, oh boy, let me tell you, I dated. I met every sort of cuckoo, crazy, emotionally unavailable, angry guy you can imagine. I did a whole lot of dating, and I really learned that you have to figure out what the trigger is from these men, because every time you do, you learn more about yourself. So when your husband comes around and comes into your life, you know how to do it. You know how to do all the hard work. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about addiction and the brain. So I want to grab my notes here. Addiction is a really interesting thing to me, because understand that you have layers to your brain and you believe you're in charge, and you are, but your brain is this automatic machine that's just constantly pumping out thoughts, ideas, impulses based on all sorts of things. If you don't eat for long enough, you will get low blood sugar, and you will begin acting in ways that you, who you are, you know, are maybe unacceptable or something's wrong with you, but something else will be acting on your behalf. Now, in my work, I talk a lot about ego states. And whether you study ego states with me or you study ego states with, say, like, you know, there are a lot of great educational books out there on ego states. You will learn so much about the voices and the stuff going on inside of you. And going back to the brain, you have layers in your brain, okay? You have layers in your brain. The layers in your brain are, how can I say it? There are some that act on impulse, and they're totally for your survival. And they call it the reptilian brain, and that's at the very center of your brain, connected to your spinal cord, your spinal column. And then you have this prefrontal cortex here. And this is what actually gets stronger the more you meditate. And if you haven't tried meditating or you've given up, start smaller. Start with just 1 minute on your phone. Time your phone 1 minute and just breathe. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale until you get to 10. And just in that 1 minute, you're going to have a million different thoughts. Got to pick up the kids, got to get this for dinner. I wonder if this is going to work. And every time your brain goes to that new thought, I just want you to steer it back to the counting, or just an image in your mind, like a rose. Just see that rose, because even if we can just slow you down to one thought, you strengthen that frontal cortex, and then that inside, that interior part of your brain loses a little power. Okay, it loses a little control over you. You become more in control of your life. And for those of you who are into law of attraction and manifesting, you'll get better at it. You'll get better at it because you'll be able to take away a lot of those extra thoughts and just have focus. Okay? So let's go back to addiction. I believe when the emotionally unavailable man comes into your life and you are at that low point, you're at that low jumping off place of sadness, of I have holes in me, I'm not fully put together, maybe a little bit of a victim, maybe the last guy really, really hurt you, and you're still putting the pieces together, and he sees something in you and he's drawn to you, and then he picks you up and he makes you feel like the most priceless woman on the planet. At the time my guy and I were going out with, Rihanna had a really popular song about you make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. And that's what this man did to me. Give me a thumbs up if your emotionally unavailable man makes you feel like you are the only person on the planet. You're the only girl in the world and you are priceless. That is their beautiful, beautiful, wonderful power. And I believe that that power is there to tell you you are priceless. You are the most wonderful, beautiful woman in the world to some man and maybe lots of men out there. And that's their gift to you, is to reconnect you that you are this amazing, beautiful, powerful, dynamite woman. Yes, yes, yes. I'm glad you're feeling this. So here you are, you're on Love Empty. You're on Love Empty. And then here comes this guy. He loves you. He makes love to you all the time. He wants to go here. He wants to do this. He's got lots of energy, maybe even lots of money at first. I don't know. And calling you all the time. I want to see you today, tomorrow, next week. Let's go here. Let's plan a vacation. I remember just today that before my emotionally unavailable man, just like, I don't want to be in a relationship, just walked out of my life, we were going to move away. And we had actually gone to this other city, looked at houses. I mean, all this stuff, you guys. So imagine when he just walked over to my house one day and said, I don't want to be in a relationship. How do you go from I'm going to move away with you, let's go look at houses, and just you wait for when I propose to you, it's going to be big. How do we go from that to like, I don't want to be in a relationship? It doesn't make sense, does it? That's what they do to your brain. Okay, that's what they do to your brain. And that's why it feels like addiction. So you go from nothing to having everything, every dream in the world, and then they take it away. And you are left hungry, like an addict, trying to get that fix. And then you go on a date because I tell you to, or maybe a friend tells you you've got to get out of the house and go on a date. You go on a date and you're like, this guy doesn't give me that feeling. He doesn't activate my brain. You're not thinking that, but you're feeling it. That's how addiction works. That's what happens with addiction, is that you don't reach that same level, your dopamine, your serotonin, you don't get that charge that these men are giving you. So the next man that comes along, oh God, this is worse than the other one. You see what I'm talking about? Give me thumbs up on this video, ladies. If you're hearing me on this, it's exactly like addiction. Okay, so you might say, I know that. How do I get myself out of it? When a person is addicted to a drug or even a food or alcohol, whatever, which sugar, beer, wine, cocaine, everything. First of all, anybody can get addicted. You don't even have to have an addicted personality. Okay, anybody can get addicted to anything if it makes you feel good enough and you're giving it enough. Because what happens is your brain, not you, but your brain develops those neural pathways that says, when I see this person, I feel good. When that person chimes my phone, I feel amazing. That's why when you see their message pop up on your phone, you're like, oh my God. It's like you get this surge, this boost. This also goes true if you are trolling their social media account and you see them post something. It can devastate you. It can devastate you like nothing else. That's why I say just stay away. Just stay away. Someone said it can be fatal too because you can't get the high anymore, so you're chasing it and you're spot on. But I'm going to tell you how to deal with this. That addiction feeling that you're having, it's not you. It's not you, because when I coach you and I get you into my programs, I wake you up out of that dream that this is you. Okay? And I wish I could just snap my finger and wake you up right now, but it is a process. Just like recovering from alcohol or sugar or any other drug, it's a process, you see. So when you are in this situation where no other man is making you feel the way that man made you feel, and no other man will make you feel the way that man felt, I want you to go ahead and just accept that that's true. Just for now, accept that is true. This is my truth. Nobody's ever going to make me feel as good as he did. No one's ever going to make love to me the way he did. I'm never going to have the dreams and hopes the way that man did with me. Accept it. Accept it. You had it. It's over. It didn't happen. It's like when you go and you get a scratch off for the lottery. I might win big. I'm going to accept I didn't win. Accept it. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to feel good, because you won't. But you're going to begin the process of not letting your brain control you, but you control you being you and choosing what's going on with you right now, okay? So first step is accept this did not work out. That relationship is over. This person wasn't healthy for me. We were not right for each other. Something was wrong. I will never know what it is. I'll never understand why. But I trust the universe. I trust God. I trust myself. And I trust that man. Because that's what it comes down to, is do you trust him enough to know that he knows what he needs? So if a man comes into your life and he breaks up with you and you're like, this can't be right, this can't be right, you don't trust him. You don't trust his decisions. And I want you to do something really, wacky here. I want you to trust that this man knows what is right for him. Do you not know what is right for you? So am I connecting with you guys? I know this is heady stuff, but I would love to just stop right here for a second and take a couple of your questions. Okay? All right. I'm just waiting for you to type in some questions for me. Someone said, is there a definitive way one can tell if he's a narcissist? Don't worry about labels. Don't worry about labels like narcissist and borderline personality. Narcissist is all over the internet. It is the biggest YouTube catching thing. It's so easy to just go, that's it. That's why he left me. He's a narcissist. Don't even worry about it. Or if he has Asperger's or whatever, these tools work with every guy, no matter what their ailment may be. It is the best litmus test you'll ever have, because he's either showing up, he's crazy for you, and not just crazy, but he's crazy for you. He's sticking around. He's more than words, or he's not. That's all it is. Okay? Someone said rejection is God's protection. Did you mean for that to rhyme? That's beautiful. I like that. Someone said, how do you stay unattached to an F-boy? I believe you mean a boy toy. And I've answered this question many times over. Pick one that has a major flaw, such as he's a pizza delivery guy, or he, has a job that will just, no offense if your man's pizza delivery, person, but pick something that is just going to be a deal breaker. It's never going to happen with you. Never going to happen with you because you have this. That's the safest choice, okay? Can a woman be a narcissist? Maybe I'm a narcissist. Very good, very possibly. Women suffer with this sort of stuff more than men. I don't know if it's because men just don't get diagnosed or if there's a hormonal factor that makes women more susceptible to some sort of mutation. Again, you're talking to a gender literature major in gender issues and studied psychology, so I can't be 100% sure, but that's my belief, is that sure, women can be narcissists. Especially if you're raised by a narcissist, you learn how to be a narcissist. If you're raised by a person in your family who has borderline personality disorder, you can learn how to behave like a person with borderline personality disorder. Doesn't mean you have it. So the best way to conquer this, again, is strengthen that frontal cortex right there. Learn how to meditate, learn how to slow down, learn about ego states. Get my program, ABCs to Getting Back. I talk about ego states. I believe I talk about ego states as well in New Man Manifesto. Read a book on ego states. You are not your brain. One of my favorite workbooks I've ever completed is How to Get Out of Your Mind and Into Your Life. And this is the most difficult workbook I've ever done in my life because I so much thought I was my brain and I was my thoughts. I didn't understand that, there's you, there's this other you, there's an adult you that is fact-based. You get more in touch with her and that child or that hamster wheel will stop running the show. Okay, even if you're a narcissist, even if you have borderline personality disorder, even if you have depression, you can take control of your thoughts. You can always choose the next thought. Read Viktor Frankl's A Man's Search for Meaning. He was in a concentration camp. He learned, I can choose my next thought. The first thought is automatic. The next thought is what you choose. You can choose to focus on love and the love you have for people in your life while you are marching in a concentration camp. And that's what he did. I encourage you all, get educated, read books. The library is still free. You can go to the library. So I love the library. All right. So going back to your questions. How do I make a genuine connection without desiring the high for him? Well, you might as well say to a drug addict, how can I just occasionally do this drug and not, want it? If this person has that power over you, until you can get yourself stable and grounded and healthy in a new jumping off place, you're going to feel weak and controlled. So you're weak and controlled right now because you're answering this question absolutely with all due respect. You can turn this around and get yourself back to a place where that person doesn't have any power over me. One of my favorite Louise Hay's affirmations is, no person, place, or thing has any power over me. I am free. Write that one down, girls. No person, place, or thing has any power over me. I am free. Nothing has power over you. Okay. Let's see. Why do some men not believe in marriage? Will they ever get married? My guy didn't believe in marriage. He laughed at me when I told him I wanted to be a wife, and he's married to me now. And I think when a man really feels like you make his life better, that having you in his life is for the better, and he can miss you and he can feel comfortable and safe expressing his feelings with you and you with him. And that when there's a problem, the two of you can work it out and solve it. When he feels that way and it's really true and authentic and he's tested it over and over and over again with you, that's when a man's like, I gotta claim this woman and I gotta make her mine. forever, because if they don't, someone else will. Someone said, I recently broke up with an unavailable man and I honored my value, but the anger and the pain is so hard to get through. Why? It's addiction. It's addiction. So you have to develop new neural pathways in your brain. Because right now you're just angry because I can't control this man. I want this man to be here with me. Why can't he be here with me? Is that really grown adult you talking? Or is that a little kid having a temper tantrum saying, why can't I get my way? Grown adult you, I'm looking for your name, Debbie. Grown adult you knows that you are worth a man. You are worthy of having a man who will stick around in your life. You do not want to do the guy's work for him, do you? Just ask yourself that question. Do I really want to do his work? Do I really want to have to prove to him to love me? Is that really how I want to make that relationship happen? Now we get adult you talking, you see. And then part of your brain goes, but in the beginning, he chased me and he loved me and he pursued me so much and he was there for me. Now we have the part of your brain that's going back to the past. I want you to be in the present. How is this man treating you right now? How's it feel right now? Because right now is the only thing you have, is right now, this moment. So when grown adult you can get focused on what the reality is right now, and you stop letting the machine run you, that is when you'll begin to go, anger is about control. Anger happens when I can't control something. The pain is hard to get through because you were getting a lot of pleasure from that person. So much pleasure, so much happiness. And now you have to start over again. Now you have to build a new neuro pathway. So imagine someone who has to give up a drug like cocaine, or worse, cigarettes, nicotine. And they have to find something else to do with their time instead of smoke or drink or whatever it is. They have a hard day at work. They pull into the liquor store. They find themselves doing this automatically without even thinking. The reptilian brain is what's doing that, not you. Okay? Not you. So this is where I want you to look at this man as if it is an addiction and understand you must build new neuro pathways, which means you have to go on some dates with some new guys and have some new experiences. And you'll start turning that corner, you see. Your brain will go, well, I went out with that guy and I don't think he's good looking and I didn't like him, but wow, he loved his mom so much. He talked about his mom and how he built her a house by the pond. And then here comes the next guy. I don't think this guy is right for me. I didn't like him, but oh my goodness, he made love to me all night long. And then you start to have these new experiences. And I didn't like that other guy I went out with, but he came over to my house and he helped me paint my bathroom and he helped me hang the shower curtain, you see. So slowly you will begin building these new neuro pathways and you will forget, oh, what's his face? And you'll be like me, where my husband is a mountain of a man and that guy is a little tiny prairie dog gopher digging holes. Okay, that's how it'll feel. All right. So I hope I have helped you all tonight. I'm going to take just a couple of last questions, but understand addiction is something that will rule you in an automatic way until you get stronger than the automatic part of your brain. Maybe at some point I can teach a little class on some breathing exercises, some meditation exercises, and some ways to deal with how you feel addicted to these emotionally unavailable men, these narcissist men, the power that they have over you. Even if they have no label, just men in general can have a lot of power over us because they touch our hearts and they heal us and then they just let us go. It's really traumatizing. Okay. So, Carol says, no one's asking me out and it's hard to date alone. Okay, Carol, I'll accept your challenge. If you get a program like ABCs to Getting Back or New Man Manifesto, I have the VIP library in there. It tells you how to quantum date if you're in a relationship. I know you're not in a relationship, but there's no one there. And there are things and places you can go to. You got to go to the grocery store. You got to get out of the house. You got to go to work. You got to do all sorts of things. You can put yourself in situations where you can practice receiving arrows and getting comfortable with that. And lo and behold, your reality will begin to change around you. Okay? So you just got to start somewhere. Start by saying, oh my goodness, everywhere I go, men are checking me out and shooting me arrows and looking my way. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so many messages. I'm getting so many email from men who want to meet me and see me and date me and go out with me. Practice focusing on what that would feel like for about a minute a day, and something will begin to change in your life. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to let you go. I've loved spending part of my Sunday with you all. And, you guys are having some good conversations. I'm reading them as we're going. You're having some very good conversations in chat. Please take a moment, all of my viewers, and give this video a thumbs up. If you can, please. That helps other women find this video and learn this material so that they will not be saying, as you are, I wish I would have learned this a year ago. They can start learning it tonight. We are all sisters in this. We all want to stick together and help one another out. If you have a girlfriend or sister or mom that you love dearly, send them this video and just get them enlightened about feminine energy. And that feminine energy is something that for generations and generations and generations we have had to push down for, at least up until your grandma, possibly not even your grandma. Women had to survive. In order to survive, they had to be nice to men. You had to be nice. So you learned how to push down your feelings and be nice instead of really be who you are. They got married for completely different reasons than we do now. Now we can get married for love, but then there's the feminist movement and then everything blew up, you see. So it is a lot to digest, and I'm so sorry. I wish, sometimes girls on my Facebook group, they go, why can't you just make a video and tell me how to do this? I'm trying. I'm trying. It takes hearing it over and over again. Treat yourself to a program of mine. My ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man. It really is best to kind of keep on your phone and read it, but go in there when a guy messages you or something and use the little search tool and find out what he said, use the word he used or whatever is happening. And then you can find the script for it. And then I teach you how to go into your body and find your feelings to make it your own and to really own it. Okay. I also have New Man Manifesto, which is my all-time favorite program because it's 12 different recordings. It's worksheets. It's a lot of work. And I put all my heart and soul into it. And it teaches you how to manifest and pull forth the man you want. Even if it's your ex, you can change him up. I've had a lot of success with that happening with women. And then I also have the ABCs to Getting Back, which I teach you all this good stuff. It's not just about getting him back. I mean, even if you've gone on a date with a guy, you really like him, and you had several good dates, but then it's like, where'd he go? Get that program, because if it's not him that you get back, I want you to know how to call forth the man you're really meant to be with. So I hope I'm making sense here. Oh, somebody said the only one who has power over me is God. That's very sweet. That's good. All right. So ladies, I wish you all well. I want you to know that, some you're saying, is it okay for me to say to myself? I think anything is okay to say to you as long as it's powerful and it makes you feel good about yourself. I want you to all remember you are a goddess on a pedestal. Men love to have sex, last I checked. They can't do that without us. So you have the power, you see. You are the goddess on the pedestal. Men live to make women feel good. They love to give us pleasure, whether that's sexual pleasure or just, oh, you opened the door for me. I feel so special. They live off of this. My husband has told me that, if he goes and runs an errand and a girl kind of smiles at him or is nice or says something nice, he'll feel good all afternoon. So women, you're so powerful. You have so much power with men. Don't forget this. You're a goddess on a pedestal. This is not all at his pacing. It is at your pacing. Let men come to you. Allow men the space. Create the space in your body for good men to come into your life. First, you got to love yourself. You got to know that you're a goddess on a pedestal. And you got to get to that higher jumping off place I talk about. Okay? So much love to you all. Last question. Oh, ladies, some thumbs up, please. Yes, I only have 40 some likes on this video. I would love to see a lot more. I love getting your thumbs up. Someone says, how do you know when it's over and when to try to get it back? My best answer for that is that you can just feel you're not over yet. You have a feeling that we're just not over yet. There's something else there. I am yet to see a man that doesn't come back unless you have done something like he had to get a restraining order. But even then, men have a way of coming back. Okay, so just know that. And thank you for the thumbs. Thank you. All those little pretty thumbs. Those emojis. But men have a way of coming back. So if you kind of feel like it's just not over yet, get a program like ABCs to get him back, because what you're doing right now is actually preparing for him to come back into your life. I can't stress that enough. If you're sitting at home and if you're one of these women that say, well, I'm going to just do me right now. I'm going to work on me and get me to a better place before I go out there and try and start something new. That's like saying, I'm going to study, I'm going to get my, I'm going to get my degree, but I'm going to just stay at home. It's not how it happens. You don't learn anything sitting at home alone in your living room. You have to have these men interact with you. Those men are leading you. Every man that comes in front of you, he's leading you to a new place. And that's where you're going. That new place is just right over that hill or right over that bridge. That's where your happily ever after is. But the man in front of you is leading you there, okay? Even if it's just there for a week or 6 months or a season. I love Tyler Perry, and in Tyler Perry's most recent book, he wrote that people are like trees, or a tree is a reference for how people are in his life, and that you have some people that are leaves, and they're there with you just for a season, and they flake off and they blow away in the wind. And you have some people that are like these branches that snap off. And then you have the people who are that tree trunk and the people who are the roots of the tree. And you are looking for the roots. You see, you're looking for the strongest part. Those are the people that stay with you forever. And that's what you'll have with your man. Once you have that bond, you've got it into the sunset. And that's who you're going to be with until your last day on this earth, and possibly even beyond then. Okay? All right, so I wanted to leave you guys on a high note. Anyway, much love to you. Join us all over at I Heart Love Academy on Facebook. We're always having a good time over there and talking. It's a private group. It's free. And please do give me thumbs up if you like my video. Hit subscribe. if you haven't already subscribed to me. And I love hearing from you on the comments section. It means so much to me. Good or bad, whatever you have to say, be honest. Let me know how you feel. Okay, everybody. Much love. Bye-bye. Bye.